What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Static Industry. We've got a long day ahead of us. I made myself a clipboard here from Create, and I wrote down some of the things that we're going to be doing today. We need to, first off, I want to connect our AE2 to our storage down there. I don't know how long that'll take, but we're going to try and do that. I also want to finish automating our electric circuits because we're almost done over here with the electric circuits. Let's see, right over here, we've got them pretty much ready. Yeah, we're up to, the circuit boards, but we got to get the circuits themselves, which is going to require some use of our silicone over here. Thankfully, we've got more than enough of that. So, yeah, let's, I guess we'll start off with connecting up our AE2. I think I've pretty much got everything ready here. Let's see, I believe... I thought somewhere in there, maybe I have it in here. Let's go at AE2. I like that I can do that. Yeah, so ME storage bus. I'm not going to mess with PDP tunnels. In fact, we took a vote on YouTube. I let all of you give your opinions on this one because I was worried. And maybe I'll put up the poll on screen if I remember to. I think for this Let's Play, we're going to disable channels. So I think what I can do is... AE2 client. Alright, so I think I may have been wrong. I don't believe that there is actually a command. I'm not sure what the AE2 client command does. I may have to do some more research on that. So basically all I'm going to have to do is connect this down to our storage area. So I just discovered this neat little trick over here. I can connect a storage bus up to an inventory cable connector, and that allows me to see my entire Tom Simple storage network all in my AE terminal. So that's pretty awesome. That made that a lot easier, so that I can basically just use that for now as my AE network and not even have to worry about trying to connect it up to all of our Create things down there. So in order to finish our line for making our circuits, we're first going to have to turn our silicone dust over here into regular silicone, which of course is pretty easy. That just requires a furnace, which actually I think I'm going to place right there instead. That way we can kind of work our way towards the middle here, right? So we'll have the furnace, and then that will go into two separate chemical reactors here. So we're going to go like this with the chemical reactors, and those will be getting antimony dust and aluminum dust. These right here, aluminum tiny dust and antimony tiny dust. And then that will make our P-doped and N-doped silicone plates, which just allow us to get better recipes for transistors. Also going to need another wire mill here right next to the one we've got. I'm going to go ahead and just go like this. And I believe that's already set to auto output to the top, so we may have to kind of come up with something else. I may end up doing this. And then an electric wire mill there, and then we'll have to add an item pipe right there in the middle. I like the way we've got our ME system set up because I've still got access to our Tom's network wirelessly. I can go out like that, extract in just like that, and that should start going. And then I could connect this bad boy up to power, just like so, and just slap that back down. And we'll start getting some of our electrum fine wires, which is what we need there. I did make one mistake. That was that our silicone has to first go through a compressor and then it goes to the chemical reactors. So probably what I'll end up doing is kind of something like this. We'll have two item pipes, go like that and like that, have that extract, and then have these both inserting. On white lists or on black lists, it's just fine because they're only going to be pulling one item. This will make silicone plates, and then that'll split between these to make these different ones right here. And I can actually go ahead and set the recipes to lock those. And look at there, it's about to make me my first electronic circuit. It's a pretty simple setup, honestly. I put in a little bit of silicone just to get it going, turned it into silicone plates. That sends it over here to become N-doped and P-doped. And then those will get pulled over to here. And I went ahead and just filled it in with some of the other resources. We'll of course connect those up. But for right now, I just wanted to test it out. So I filled it up on my own, getting transistors and diodes, which go over here. And I threw some analog circuits in there as well, and some of our electronic circuit boards. And there we go. We're getting ourselves electronic circuits, fully automatic. That's fantastic. Those things were such a pain in the butt to make up until now. Very happy to have that fully automated. So I'm going to move on to our kind of moving along with remodeling the base. It's a little more than that. We're basically building a whole new base. But to start out, we're going to set up all of our compressor recipes, and I've got this configurable chest here so that I can lock all of the different recipes here. Right now I've only got 2 MV steam turbines, but I have a feeling we're going to need a lot more than that. They're going into an MV to LV transformer and then coming out, of course, on a 10 cable. And I have every single compressor that was around our base plus 6, because that's how many we're going to need here to be able to do all of the compressor recipes that we have unlocked. So let's see, I believe I can go 1, 2, 3. And you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to do rows instead of columns. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to do it on this side so that I can expand it 1 block to make it even. And I'm going to do that just like this because I'll be able to run an ME cable in between these and actually be able to kind of do this a little more efficiently. And I'm going to have to probably reset this thing because I think this is going to mess that up. Yeah, I'm going to have to reset that. That's okay. It didn't take that long, but a little bit of annoying. So there you go. There's 3 rows of 9 compressors, and we're going to get those things all hooked up so that we can start producing all of the resources we want. So what I'm doing right here is I'm taking a different configurable chest, and this one I'm going to allow to take all the ingots for the things that I want to be able to accept into here, right? So I've gotten 12 total ingots that I'm going to allow into this thing, and then I'll probably just tell the rest of it to be empty. I think I can lock it at empty. So just like that, there's our 12 total, and then I can go lock and do just like that. And there's our 12 ingots that we're going to be pulling out. I'm going to take 2 ME export buses just like that. And by default, obviously they can only export one thing, but we can make some of these capacity cards here. And I think that I have everything I need to be able to make a couple of those. I'm going to make 6, I think should be enough. Go ahead and make those. And there we go. So yeah, let's say 2 capacity cards, just like that. Now all of a sudden, I can export 18 items at a time. Also, I can add all 12 of these ingots and have them go into this configurable chest once I connect it to the system. So I've got a blue connection on these compressors here. The blue connection is going to be the input for the compressors. So these all need to be set to input with blacklist enabled, right? And that'll start allowing whatever item it is. So say this one's steel right here. If I go in blacklist, you'll see some steel start going into there, and then we'll start getting some steel plates. A wonderful thing that you can use is this pipe config card. I can have one of these set to blacklist mode. I can shift right click, and then I can copy that config to all the rest of them instead of having to go through and click them individually. So it makes this process a lot faster. And now all of those are set up correctly. And now I've added a white network. The white network is going to be our out. So it will pull out of the compressors and it will go into this configurable chest right here, which is also connected on the in network with an out blacklist so that items such as aluminum curved plates can be made with the aluminum plates that will be input into there. Last thing I'm going to add here is a storage bus on the bottom of our configurable chest here. And I can add couple capacity cards to there. Actually, I think just one will be fine. And I can say partition storage. And that didn't partition correctly. That's weird. I don't know why that's not partitioning correctly. Oh, I see. It's because it's only going to show the ones that have stacks. I think that's what it is. So I'll have to go through probably and manually partition that, but that's okay. Anyways, we're going to connect that up over here. That way we'll be able to see into our chest there in our system. So that's pretty much it for our compressor setup. We've got 27 compressors all running. I actually decided to just go down to 1 MV steam turbine. We're going to use the next one because we're going to need to set up cutting machines, right? Because we're going to have to be able to make these steel rings, which requires, of course, all of the rods, which requires cutting machines. Thankfully, we've already got lubricant automated, so all I have to do is go around and pick up all the cutting machines that I have and we'll start getting those connected up to our ME system. Right now I'm setting up an area for electric cutting machines. There's going to be 12 of them right now for these 12 recipes here, and I'm going to connect them up, of course, to some lubricant coming out of our ender tank right there, and that will be our cutting machines. Basically, all I'm going to do is have them pull out of this same chest because the same resources are going to be getting used. So I'm going to have them pull out of there, pull into these, and then into a separate configurable chest, which I'll kind of set up similar to this one. And there we go. It's as easy as that. I've got a storage bus right there, and I discovered that I don't even have to partition it. Basically, locking this basically is my way of partitioning it. And I've got it set up the same way. It's able to pull out of there so that the copper rods and, well, I don't know if I'm using copper, but basically the rods can go in here to be able to make bolts, because you never know whenever we might need some of the certain bolts. And for some reason the steel ones haven't gone in there yet. I think it may just be because it's filling up the other ones, which is just okay. So that'll fill up eventually, and then we'll start getting some of all of the bolts, and we've already started getting some of all of the rods, and it looks like copper is already filled all the way up, and aluminum is well on its way. In fact, our system ran out of aluminum, but that's okay. So there we go. That's our cutting machines all set up. I think probably, I don't know, maybe we'll move on to assemblers. I'm not sure. We'll see where we're at. So I got all of the assemblers set up here, and they've all got various recipes. The nice thing is you can use multiple recipes. So some stuff I have stacked, like all of these I already had stacked, and like some of these are filled to the brim with recipes. Some of them aren't. That one I guess I just skipped on the way, but yeah, some of them have completely filled recipes. And then over here, I've got a configurable chest for all the items that we're making in these. So I'll be able to just pump right out of there. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is just throwing export buses on the back of all of these to be able to get the items into them, right? I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do that. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to have to make like 20 export buses. So we'll see how that goes. Now I'm going through and doing the extremely exciting part of filtering all of these exporters. So I'm having to go through and basically just open each one of these, add those to my thing up here by pressing A, add in 2 capacity cards just like that, and then go through and just filter the items. Super duper exciting, and I can't wait to do this for 15 assemblers. This is kind of the last major random machine room that I'm going to be setting up. I think we may try and get into oil processing, but I did want to show this real quick. This is going to be kind of just the everything else that doesn't have a room. So right now I've got wire mills, packers, unpackers. Right now I've got a furnace there. I think this one may end up actually being macerators instead of furnaces. And then right here I've got chemical reactors, which I was about to set up the recipe for N-doped and P-doped silicone right here. Because we've already got, that's not what I meant to click, P-doped. There we go, because we've already got everything being made for those. Right over here, I've got the tiny dust being made. So yeah, we'll have to set up probably some macerators for the dust. And then there we go, that'll be our N-doped and P-doped silicone. I'll have to filter these out. And that's pretty much everything. It's looking pretty good. I've got it all connected over here to this chest. So I've got tin blades and copper blades being made here in the packers. And then of course, all of our different wires and fine wires being made over there, and everything is looking really nice. Over here our assemblers are doing super well. We're getting plenty of copper and tin rotors, plenty of electronic circuits. In fact, I think we're pretty much full up on everything that we need to be. Yeah, we're looking really good. The only thing that we really are going to have to set up now is the alloy smelters. So I may end up setting those up over here in this room. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't decided. But I don't think we need a whole lot of alloy smelters. So honestly, I may just kind of leave them where they're at and slap an ender chest down. Because like we've got this one right here for electrum. We've got this one over here for battery alloy. We got two down there for some stuff. So I may just end up leaving them there with the ender chests. I don't know yet. But everything's coming along really well. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then maybe we'll try and get into a little bit of oil stuff. And there we go. That is our oil drilling rig. This thing's pretty big. I've got an MV steam turbine going into an MV to LV transformer, and then into an LV energy input hatch on the back of this thing. That way we'll be able to run it pretty quickly, hopefully. And yeah, it's ready. All I gotta do is throw in a couple of aluminum drills, and thankfully I already set up the automation for that. Pretty easy, just added the recipe over here to my assemblers. Same setup, exporter on the bottom, connected to some pipes here. And for now, I'm just gonna go with a steel barrel right here with the aluminum drills in it. And of course, I can fill that up as much as I want to. And then we've got a fluid output hatch right over there. And I think all we gotta do is sit and wait, and this guy will start making me some oil. And there we go, we've got 500 millibuckets of crude oil. Went ahead and added a large tank over here. It can store up to 2,300 buckets of crude oil. Same size as our oxygen and benzene ones downstairs. And I'm just gonna let this guy continue to run for a while. I'm not actually gonna worry about the processing of the oil quite yet, I don't think. We may do that next episode, because it's gonna be quite a long process and probably a pretty boring one. Because, I mean, we're going to have to go through distilleries and then chemical reactors, and then we're just going to have to keep going through and doing the same crap over and over and over again. It's going to be a long process, I'm going to be honest. The processing of the oil is not exciting at all. But we do have our crude oil, so I guess I can go ahead and grab myself a bucket of that and get the quest. Let's see if I can grab myself a bucket, and I was able to get the quest to start unlocking all of the oil process line. It's gonna be exciting. Eventually we're gonna unlock all of this nice stuff, the bigger backpacks and better barrels and whatnot, so that'll be super nice to unlock. And of course, once we get to polyethylene, we'll be able to start overclocking our machines, which will really be wonderful. But it is going to take quite a while to get there. So guys, I do appreciate y'all watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I think that's going to do it for this episode. So as always, take care y'all. See you in the next one.